go figure out how I'm going to get the money, because that could have been the last millionaire mentor that I ever came in contact with. It's not like they were a dime a dozen 30 years ago, okay? Now, thankfully, I was coachable, thankfully, okay? Because I had to actually be retrained from scratch, because I was one of the people that could sell ice cubes to Eskimos, literally. I could sell anything, okay? But I didn't understand the distinction between a convincing model, okay, over here, and a networking model over here, okay? Now, when I sat down with my millionaire mentor, he said to me something that kind of actually shocked me, okay? He said, Darren, if you ever want to make 7 figures in our particular business, rule number 1, I do not want you talking about our company. Now, guys, coming from features and benefits, I thought, this is kind of weird. Like, why wouldn't he want me to talk about the company, right? So the first thing that came to my mind is, well, it must be because of the patents. I can't mention anything because the company's got these patented products and it's probably top secret. So, okay, I could do that. He said, rule number 2, Darren, if you ever want to make 7 figures, I don't want you talking about our products. Now, I'm not kidding you guys when I tell you this, because I'd already slid the check over the bank draft for $4,000, okay? My stomach dropped to my knees, and I thought, oh my God, I just joined an illegal company. And the only thing that I could think about was how long it was going to take me to go to the bank to put stop payment on the check, okay? Because if I can't talk about the company and I can't talk about the actual products, how the heck am I going to sell them? Okay, this is all going through my mind. Now, keep in mind, I'm in my early 20s. I'm just a young little whippersnapper. And I said to him, well, hold on a sec here, Harv. What exactly am I going to talk about if I can't talk about the company or the products? He said, Darren, if you ever want to become a 7-figure income earner, you're going to learn to talk about them. Now, when he told me this, I was like lost, guys. And when I tell you lost, my brain was trying to think up how the heck am I going to be able to sell. At that time, it was oil and gas additives, okay? And this run flat tires, and they had all this military stuff in their arsenal of their products. And they were patented, and they were all top secret and everything else. So I said, you mean to tell me that you want me to sell oil and gas additives and puncture-proof tires without ever talking about the company that manufactured them or the products themselves? He said, yep. I said, how exactly am I going to sell the products if I'm talking about the other person? He said, Darren, are you coachable? Are you coachable? I said, yeah, I'm coachable. He said, okay, you're going to have to go through what's called a paradigm shift. Okay, a paradigm shift. He said to me, what's behind you right now? And I said, the wall. He said, can you see the wall right now? And I said, no, I can't. He said, turn your chair around. So I turned my chair around. He said, what do you see now? And I said, the wall. He said, the wall was there the whole time, Darren. It was in your blind spot. You couldn't see it. And if you ever want to make big money, you have to understand the same concept, that the more that you talk about the other person, the more that they will be magnetically pulled to you, okay? Now, thankfully, I was coachable, okay? And what I found when I was going to networking events, business after business, keep in mind, guys, this is way before the internet even was real, right? We're talking three decades ago. So what I found is that when the conversation came to me, I always would flip it around back onto the other person. And the phenomenon the phenomenon that blew my mind was after the conversation was over, people would say, you know what, Darren, I'd really like to find out more about what you do. I'd really like to do business with you. This is without me talking about any companies, any products, any comp plans, none of it. The entire conversation was about the other person, and they literally came in like this, like I had some sort of magnetic power, and they literally just signed up. Okay, now at the time, guys, we were selling packages for $4,000 30 years ago. Okay, 30 years ago. And there was no, I did over $40,000 my very first month because I was coachable. And I listened exactly to what he told me, okay? So I want to tell you how this actually came about, because what happened was that we were in Manila. I went to Manila for 2.5 months, and we were working on a bunch of training modules, and somebody reached out to add me as a friend. I'm going to actually show you guys these screenshots tonight, but they reached out to add me as a friend, and I put add. And then literally right away, they came on and said, hey, Darren, what do you think of XYZ? And I said, well, I never heard of XYZ. I mean, it was the name of a company. I'm just using that as an example, right? I don't want to totally shame these people. But he said, oh, well, you really need this. You really need this automated thing that I've got here. I said, I don't need any automated system, right? Oh, well, it was based upon such and such a company. And I said, well, if it was based upon that company, I'd never promote it because I bought that company. It was complete garbage, right? So what he did was he took our chat, okay, and he took it back to the owner of this company. And the owner of this company, his ego was so bruised that he put out a slander post, right? I'm talking about like really, really ridiculous stuff, saying that I was a pedophile and all, just making up as much slander as he possibly could about me. And then I actually took that post and posted it on my wall to show people what can happen when you go into God syndrome, okay? And it will completely destroy your business, guys. It will destroy your brand. It will destroy your business. You have to maintain along the journey to be a humble servant leader, okay? It's very, very important, guys. And I tell my students this all the time, and they always go, hey, no problem, Darren, I'll be humble. I'll provide value. Just show me, just take me to the promised land. I promise you I'll be humble, until they hit the first 100,000. That's the first sign. But if I take a person from 0 to $250,000, that's the danger zone, guys. Okay, and I'm just telling you ahead of time. I'm just telling you ahead of time. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to take you guys behind the scenes a little bit here so that we can fully take a look at this whole process so that you guys can get some value from this whole thing. So just downscale that. Okay. So first of all, welcome to this broadcast. Today we're going to be talking. Now, in case you didn't know this, business is truly all about relationships, okay? So people typically, they want to do business with people that they either know, like, or trust, or it could be a position where they do business because they're like the other person, or they aspire to be like the other person. So any of those key factors, that's when people pull out the credit cards, okay? So they feel like they know you, they feel like they like you, they feel they can trust you, and they're either like you in a similar way, their story's the same as yours, or they aspire to be like you. That's when they pull out the credit card, okay? Now you can start building relationships with people by asking someone a question about their life, okay? I'm gonna say this again. Asking someone a question about their life, okay? This has nothing to do with your company, products, comp plan, management team, track record, patents, trademarks, nobody cares, okay? Now, it could be something from their past, present, or their future, okay? And I typically break it down into an acronym called FORM. So it could be about their family, it could be about their occupation, it could be about their recreation, their hobbies, or what motivates them. Okay, those are the key areas. It's very easy to remember if you remember FORM: family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Okay. Now you can build instant rapport, guys. I'm going to say this again. You can build instant rapport with another human being by giving a person a compliment about something, a value that they wrote on a post, or something that they said on a Facebook Live, or a picture that you've seen. It could be with their family, or it could be a life event, a vacation, something that they went on. And by complimenting them in some way, instant rapport, okay, instantaneous. The other thing is, if you have mutual friends in common, it can be a great icebreaker. So in other words, if you've got 200 friends in common, right, there's a high probability that they know a lot of people that you know. So right out of the gate, you have some commonalities. You have things in common, and that's truly the goal when you're building connections with people. Now, your goal truly is to find things in common. Now, the things in common could be with where they live, what they do, what they like or dislike. It could be a book they've read, a movie that they've been to, a vacation spot, sports teams that they like, food they like, motivational speakers. If you can find 3 things in common with a person in the first 5 minutes, okay, I'm going to say this again. If you can find 3 things in common with another human being in the first 5 minutes, the person will actually not even know why, but they will start to like you, okay? Now, the goal truly, if you really want to become a master, is you have to learn how to make people laugh, make people feel good, and you have to learn how to master changing people's state, okay? Now, the power of social media is you can do a lot of this in your content, your Facebook Lives, colors, pictures, food, architecture, so many different things, but that is your goal right there. Make people laugh, feel good, or change their state, okay? Now, if they're a top income earner, or there's somebody that has influence, you can also interview them. It's a great way to get a connection with a person, because typically you have kind of a little powwow prior to the actual interview, and you get an opportunity to actually ask them questions, find out more about them, and by the time that you're on the actual interview, it's like you're hanging out with one of your best friends, okay? But the thing that I will tell you about this is make sure that you are branded before you ask a top income earner to do an interview. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that. I'm going to show you some sample of what I'm talking about when I talk about personal branding, okay? Now, where do you actually find out about a potential prospect? Okay, where do you go? A lot of people don't know these things. The first thing that you want to ask yourself is, are they actually branded themselves? The top part of your Facebook profile is literally like your billboard. And a lot of people don't maximize their billboard for proper branding to position themselves into the marketplace, right? And the one thing that I'm going to share with you guys about this, don't lie to the marketplace, okay? What do I mean by that? A lot of people start and they brand themselves as an online mentor, an online coach, right? But the truth is that they're just starting and they haven't even been able to make a full-time income themselves. So don't lie to the marketplace about where you're at on the path. So in other words, if in the event that you're completely transparent and you tell people that you're just starting, you're just learning, you will get way more support. You will get way more cheerleaders. You'll get way more followers. You'll get way more people that root you on or cheer you on than to try to almost be a charlatan and camouflage the fact that you haven't made any money and project online that you're an online mentor or coach. Do not do this, guys. I'm telling you, you're setting yourself up for a massive fall, because the moment that they actually find out that you're flat broke, but you've positioned yourself as an online mentor or coach, now you're going to get labeled as a scammer, and you do not want to do that. You can't backtrack all the stuff that you've done, okay? So first question, are they actually branded, the person that you're talking to? Next question, are they on the path of personal development? Now, in case you didn't know, we're actually in a personal development leadership business model. Most people think that they're getting into an industry to sell, weight loss, anti-aging, energy drinks, power, credit repair, digital products. I'm telling you, if you want to make 7 figures, you have to accept this as truth. We are actually in the personal development industry. So you got to just scan a person's wall and ask yourself, are they on the path of personal development? You can tell from a person's content. You can't hide personal development, guys, okay? It's very obvious in somebody's content or Facebook lives whether they've actually done the work themselves, okay? Now, what's next? Are they a person with influence, okay? Now, you can look at a person's profile, okay? So that green arrow there points down to followed by 15,301 people, okay? You can tell a lot from that whether or not a person has influence, because if they're a leader, if they do have influence, they do have a large team, that number will, in most cases, be pretty big, right? It might be 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 or more, but it's typically going to be a pretty large number because they're putting out valuable content to the marketplace, okay? It's dead giveaway. What's up? What else? Do they actually have any results? Okay, you can't fake results, guys, okay? Unless you just do Photoshop and try to put out BS to the marketplace, which I do not recommend, okay? Do they have any results? And you can tell just by looking at their page. And do they have any team members with results, okay? Now, this, in my opinion, is very, very important because a lot of people will go out as the gurus and they only show their income. So they might have a $12,000 day or a $20,000, $30,000 week, but you never see any brand new newbies making those type of income numbers. Why is that? Why is that? Because that person is typically into the path of God syndrome, which is very dangerous. I'm going to tell you in advance. And what happens is they're only concerned about one thing, lining their pockets. Okay, so you've got to be very, very aware that you interview the people to find out who are their students, who's been a complete brand new newbie that's gone from rags to riches. And if they don't have any, then you're dealing with the wrong mentor, okay? Now, there's a number of different areas on this particular page, but the most important one, in my opinion, is the one that says about, right here, okay? Right here, about, okay? So the about section and the photos. Now, I'm going to tell you that when I first started on the internet, when I first started on Facebook, this is the first place that I went, okay? Now, why is that? Because you can find out a lot about a person. You can find out where they live, okay? Like mine says, I went to Simon Fraser University, so you can find out if they've had any university education. And most people, if they're self-employed, it typically says self-employed entrepreneur. But this is this is when I very, very first started online, guys. And I just got on Facebook and I had no tech skills. So what I did is I actually called them. I called them and I was like, Tom, what's going on? It's Darren Little calling from Facebook. And they would always start laughing, guys. They were like in shock that they got an incoming call from somebody that they actually followed on Facebook. So I'd say, listen, we've been friends on Facebook for quite a long time. We haven't had a chance to really connect. I thought I'd just reach out, touch base, say a quick hello to find out more about you. Listen to what I just said, guys. To find out more about you, okay? I didn't call to pitch my deal. I didn't call to, talk about my potion, lotion, or comp plan, or to say, get in now and lock your spot, okay? I just wanted to create a bridge, okay? A bridge. It's very, very casual. And this is what people don't understand about building successful, mutually beneficial, long-term business relationships because they're like Black Panthers. I gotta get commission. Right? They're frothing at the mouth. Don't be one of those people. Our industry takes time, guys, to develop a relationship. Just look at when we're dating your current spouse right now.